Welcome to the Rewriting Naruto series part 8, a series of videos where I rewrite Naruto, making changes to improve the series for my personal taste. This is only part 8 of this very long series, so definitely subscribe so you never miss any future rewrite videos. Like this video to support the channel and the series as well. The goal for this video is 500 likes. If we get 500 likes within the first 24 hours from when I upload the video, I'll drop the next rewrite within a week. If you'd like to further support the channel, become a member and get awesome perks. Link in the description for that. We finally begin Naruto Shippuden. First of all, let's get something out of the way. The prologue in the anime in the very first episode of Naruto Shippuden is bad. If I was rewriting the anime, I would remove that entirely because it ruins the surprise of seeing Sasuke for the first time when it's actually supposed to happen. Let's get to the story now. Naruto arrives back at the Leaf Village with Jiraiya, and he does the same thing here as he did in the original, standing on that tall post looking over the village. Before he meets Kakashi, however, he goes down and walks some more with Jiraiya along the village streets. Naruto sees villagers and they're all looking at them when he passes by. They also whisper things and Naruto hears it. Oh no, the demon is back. I thought he would never come back. What? The QB is here again? Son, come on, let's get out of here. You shouldn't stay here. This cements to the audience that Naruto is still an outcast and despised by the village. Naruto is sad, naturally, when he hears all those things, but he is much less affected than he would have been in the past. Jiraiya says, "Remember, Naruto, you'll prove them wrong for your deeds. You have become quite a shinobi." Naruto says, "Yeah, they'll see who I really am. Believe it." Jiraiya smiles. At this point, they encounter Kakashi, and the conversation with him goes largely the same. Naruto then meets back with Sakura, and their interaction here will change. First, there will be no romantic feelings between the two. Naruto just got over Sakura before the time skip. However, Sakura being Sakura will still ask Naruto if she looks more like a woman now, as she really wants some affirmation and Naruto is someone she respects after the Sasuke retrieval arc. Naruto looks at her, concentrated, pondering. We then get a flashback. Naruto is training with Jiraiya. He is very tired and roughed up from training all day long. Jiraiya says, "Naruto, good work for today. We can rest now." Naruto says, panting, No way, Pervy Sage. I can still train more." Jiraiya says, "Idiot. Resting is also important for a shinobi." Naruto is a little annoyed at that, but says, "Sure, I suppose." Jiraiya laughs and says, "Oh, come on, Naruto, you're making good progress. Resting will do you good." Naruto says, "Yeah, but there are things more important than resting." Jiraiya says, "Of course there are. But tell me, Naruto, what do you think is the most important thing for a shinobi?" Naruto thinks and says, "Learning a super powerful jutsu." "Idiot. Of course, that's not the most important thing." "Well then, maybe having the guts never to give up?" Aha! Now you're onto something. But there is something else. Something I would say is equally important, if not more. Naruto's eyes open wide in attention. "Tell me, Pervy Sage. I wanna know." Jiraiya laughs and says, "Well, I think it's about time for you to learn that anyway." Naruto says, "Come on, tell me now." "Very well, listen closely." Naruto's attention is 120% focused on Jiraiya. The most important thing for a shinobi is his woman. What? Are you freaking kidding me? You really are a pervy sage. Jiraiya gets a little embarrassed. "No, Naruto, I'm serious. A shinobi's woman is a shinobi's strength." Jiraiya starts making his characteristic elaborate moves to emphasize his point. A shinobi's woman will dictate how powerful that shinobi will become and take care of him forever whenever he's wounded from battle and other things as well. One could say the woman is the soul of a shinobi. Naruto is confused. "What about kunoichis?" "Don't get sidetracked, Naruto." Naruto says, "You say all that, but you've always been single your entire life, and you're over 50. Jiraiya's face drops. "As a matter of fact, the only women that you've been with were only with you because you paid them." Jiraiya's face drops further. "And I've noticed a pattern, really. All those ladies you've paid have a striking resemblance with Granny Tsunade." Jiraiya's face becomes completely uncanny. "How couldn't you get over her after 40 years? "Shut up, Naruto!" Jiraiya screams so loud that Naruto gets a little scared of him. "Sorry, I didn't mean to push your buttons, Pervy Sage." Jiraiya sighs. "Regardless, a shinobi's woman is his soul. But there is another detail. The most important thing for a woman to have. The thing you must always look for in a woman, Naruto. Naruto gets intrigued again. Maybe Pervy Sage is onto something. Jiraiya smiles and says, the most important thing for a woman to have are large boobs. What? We cut back to the present with Naruto analyzing Sakura's new appearance. He looks at Sakura's chest, noticing it's rather flat. Sakura looks embarrassed but eager for Naruto's response. Naruto finally says, how can I put it, Sakura? You look disappointing. Sakura's face becomes mega ultra uncanny. Jiraiya, who is watching the exchange between the two, face palms and thinks, what is he thinking? Never be that straightforward like that, Naruto, not if you don't want to die! After that, there will be another change. Konoha doesn't exist. It's Iruka who shows up. Iruka will ask Naruto about his training, and Naruto will tell him that he has learned an amazing new ability. Sakura will be all impressed by Naruto's growth, and Naruto will say, Iruka-sensei, check it out! Naruto will then use his improved sexy jutsu, and Sakura will punch him, and the scene will happen largely the same way it did in the original. The bell test will go about the same way. The actual fight between Naruto and Sakura versus Kakashi was actually skipped over in the manga, so I don't see a problem in making the manga version here like the anime version when we see the fight, but the result is the same. They get the bells and that's what matters. The next edition I'm making will happen after Naruto encounters Shikamaru and Temari when he was with Sakura. That scene goes exactly the same way. After that though, before Naruto goes to Ichiraku to have ramen with Iruka, Naruto and Sakura will be just walking on the street talking about their training over the last 2.5 years. They then hear a voice coming directly from behind them saying, Naruto? Naruto and Sakura get a jump scare as they turn around and see Hinata. Naruto says, Hinata? What? I didn't notice you there. Hi? Sakura, still a little spooked, thinks, I didn't notice her at all. Why would she sneak up on us? Hinata is blushing, looking to the side. Naruto, after the initial jump scare, is warm and friendly towards Hinata. He says, so Hinata, how have you been? Hinata says, I've been good. It's good to see you again, Naruto. Hinata blushes even more. Welcome back to the village. Hinata grabs Naruto's hand and says, it's really good to see you again. Sakura looks at Hinata holding Naruto's hand and then looks at her blushing face. She sees something just beyond her shyness. She sees a fervent willingness to cherish and protect Naruto on Hinata's eyes. Sakura then thinks, I never realized you had a crush on Naruto, Hinata. I guess that's why she snuck up on us. Naruto, a little embarrassed, looks at his hand that's being held by Hinata and says, thanks, Hinata. He then thinks, man, Hinata sure is nice, and she looks really cute now. Hinata then realizes she grabbed Naruto's hand. It seems like she did not do that consciously. She quickly lets go of it, getting even more embarrassed and shy. Sakura looks at that scene and smiles, thinking, they actually look cute together. There's one thing I have to mention about Hinata. I am changing her outfit for the rewrite. She will have the last outfit during Shippuden already, which means she is quite a bit more sexy. Naruto, seeing that outfit, suddenly has a memory flash. He sees Jiraiya in his mind's eye telling him, the most important thing for a woman to have are large boobs. Naruto looks at Hinata's chest. His eyes open wide and he starts to blush, quickly averting his gaze. We see both Naruto and Hinata getting very flustered and self-conscious. Funnily enough, Naruto starts to act like Hinata acts around him. Naruto thinks, Pervy Sage, I think I finally understand. I feel like something has awakened in me. Naruto, still averting his gaze, says, so, Hinata, going on a lot of missions lately? Hinata says, still embarrassed, I haven't gone on a mission for about 2 years now. Naruto is surprised at that. But why? Hinata says, you see, I'm the next in line to become the leader of the Hyuga clan, so I have to take care of my responsibilities related to that. I haven't had time to go on missions anymore. Naruto gets angry, as that reminds him of his encounter with Hiyashi, Hinata's father, a long time ago. Your dad's being troublesome again? Hinata says, no, I'm doing this because I actually really want to, Naruto. Naruto takes another peek at Hinata's chest. His nose starts to bleed. Hinata realizes that and gets even more embarrassed. She says, I have to get going now, and she jumps away, leaving Naruto and Sakura behind. Sakura looks at Naruto with a naughty expression and says, so, Naruto, what did you think about Hinata? Naruto looks at her and says, she was very nice as always. trying to cover up his embarrassment. Sakura says, "I've never seen you blushing so much before, Naruto. Did something happen?" Naruto says, "No, nothing." Sakura says, "Oh, give me a break. It's kind of obvious that you have a crush on her." Naruto screams, "Ah, Sakura, I gotta go to Ichiraku. See you later." Naruto jumps away as well, leaving Sakura behind, arriving on Ichiraku to have ramen with Iruka. Now, onto the Kazekage Rescue Arc. A lot of people dislike this arc, but most of these people have only seen the anime, so yes, this arc is very slow paced in the anime, and that's just because they shove so much filler in it. In the manga, however, this arc has a very quick pace and there are practically no issues with it. Having said that, there are things I will change and add to this arc. The first edition happens when Team Kakashi is fighting Itachi's body double. The fight will be exactly the same, but there will be something else. We get a quick panel during the battle of someone who's watching them battling in the forest nearby. The figure is hiding in the bushes, wearing a heavy dark overcoat with a hood that covers the entire body. The figure's face is completely obscured by an Oni mask, which is essentially a Japanese demon. The mask wraps around the entire head, depicting intimidating fangs and horns. The mask does not have an opening for the user's eyes. It seems like eyesight is completely blocked by it. The figure watches Team Kakashi battling Itachi without saying anything. Another addition is that after the Akatsuki seals Gaara, the leader will ask Itachi, "Will your jutsu delay them?" Itachi will reply, "Yes." Meaning that the 5 seal barrier Konoha has to break before entering the Akatsuki cave will be an Itachi jutsu. Before Konoha enters the cave, Deidara will also resupply his clay, as he practically ran out of it after fighting Gaara. Though the resupply he gets in the cave is by no means a lot of clay. It was just something he had for reserve lying around. As Team Guy and Team Kakashi reunite in front of the cave and plan on how to get rid of the seal, we see that the Oni mask figure is watching them from afar. When Neji uses his Byakugan to scout where the sealing tags are located, we see that the figure uses hand signs casting a jutsu. Even though the Oni masked figure was relatively close to Neji when he used the Byakugan does not see the figure at all. It seems like this figure with the Oni mask has exceptional concealment jutsus and was prepared to counter something like the Byakugan. Things develop the same way. Team Kakashi enters the cave, Deidara and Sasori have the same conversation on top of Gaara's corpse. However, when Naruto summons that large shuriken and tosses it towards them, he'll show a jutsu he's learned over the time skip. As he tosses that large shuriken pissed off after seeing Gaara dead, being treated really poorly, he weaves hand signs saying, "Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu!" The massive shuriken turns into over a dozen that are all shot towards Sasori and Deidara. Sasori parries all of them with his tail without looking at Naruto. This is a very minor change, but it shows that Naruto has learned more jutsus with Jiraiya, and this jutsu will be useful later as well. Things will then happen largely the same way. Naruto and Kakashi have a scuffle with Deidara and then give chase. Team Guy is fighting their doppelgangers, and Sakura and Chiyo are fighting Sasori. As the Sasori fight unfolds, it will go about the same way. However, when Sakura uses that paper bomb to escape Sasori's poisonous cloud, she will yell at Sasori like in the original, telling him that she'll beat him no matter what, and then she does something different. Weaving hand signs, she casts a jutsu. Ninja art, drowning paralysis, targeting Sasori with a genjutsu. To her surprise, the genjutsu doesn't take effect at all. Sakura remarks on how weird that is. It wasn't as though Sasori blocked or broke out of the genjutsu. It was as though the genjutsu didn't find a target whatsoever. She inquires about it with Chiyo, and Chiyo says that she has some suspicions as to why the genjutsu didn't work. She then tells Sakura she shouldn't try genjutsu for now. This scene serves to show that Sakura has actually incorporated genjutsu in her fighting style, and it foreshadows the fact that Sasori turned himself into a puppet. The fight resumes and continues like in the original. We cut to Naruto and Kakashi chasing Deidara. Kakashi will tell Naruto the same things he tells him in the original, how they have to use long-range jutsus or close in with Deidara because he's just flying above them way too far away from their melee reach. And as Deidara replenished some of his clay in the cave, he is able to offend Naruto and Kakashi with explosives. He creates birds, tossing them down. Naruto and Kakashi use shadow clones as decoys to avoid the explosions. So we mix that exposition Kakashi delivers with some action, which is good to make things a little less dragged out. Deidara then throws a swarm of a dozen small explosive birds. Naruto tosses a shuriken, weaves hand signs saying, "Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu!" The shuriken turns into a dozen shurikens, which all intercept one of the explosive birds mid-air, detonating them before they impact Naruto or Kakashi. Naruto is angry but determined. His whiskers are more pronounced and his eyes are red with slits for pupils. The QB chakra is leaking. He will say, "Don't worry, Kakashi-sensei, I've learned a thing or two while I was away. That shuriken jutsu is a good trick, but it won't be enough." Naruto says, "That was not the only thing I learned, Kakashi-sensei. I have more tricks up my sleeve." Kakashi looks at Naruto's determined face. He says, "Very well, we will get Gaara back no matter what. I have a jutsu that will end this fight, but I'm not terribly used to it yet. It will take some time to charge. You'll have to buy me some." Naruto nods, creating two shadow clones. Chiyo and Sakura's fight keeps on going the same way as in the original. However, there will be another change. When Sakura punches and disassembles Sasori's puppet body, it happens the same way as it did in the original, but Sakura will realize that Sasori uses a living core at that point. The fight keeps going and Chiyo's 10 puppets clash with Sasori's 100 puppets. However, Sakura will do one additional thing during that clash, as she is punching around many puppets as well. Before she tosses Chiyo's sealing jutsu towards Sasori's original body, she will target Sasori with a genjutsu again, but this time she aims specifically at his living core. Weaving hand signs, she casts Ninja Art, Drowning Paralysis. This time the genjutsu procs, but it is broken almost immediately by Sasori. Sasori laughs at her and says, "Do you think a genjutsu this mediocre will work against me? It doesn't matter if you found out where to target me, it's simply too weak to do anything." The fight keeps going the same way as did in the original. Sakura takes the sword hit for Chiyo, but the very ending of the fight will be slightly different. Sasori goes for his final attack to finish Chiyo off, while Sakura is impaled by his sword. Sakura then weaves hand signs once again, powering through the poison in her system, and casts another genjutsu aiming at Sasori. Ninja Art, Inner Self Release. Sasori sees what seems a black and white shadow of Sakura erupting out of her body and grappling Sasori with such strength that paralyzes his moves completely, halting his motion that was about to kill Chiyo. Sasori is completely stopped. Sakura's inner self genjutsu astral projection that's just grappling Sasori screams, "Shanaro! I'll stop you no matter what!" Sasori says alarmed, "Genjutsu? But how can I break out of this immediately?" Sakura says, "The one before wasn't my strongest genjutsu." Chiyo then impales Sasori with the father and mother puppets, ending the battle. Chiyo heals Sakura using the life-transferring ninjutsu, and their exchange with the dying Sasori goes exactly the same. Slightly altering the ending of the fight shows the power of Sakura's new genjutsu. She uses her inner self avatar as a genjutsu that can grapple and paralyze or even punch and inflict psychological pain on the target. This makes Sakura very strong. It also gives her inner self persona more focus as well, which I've always liked about her character. In the original, the ending of the fight implies that Sasori let himself get hit, which I never liked, so this ending actually gives a full, complete victory to Sakura and Chiyo because they actually beat him without him giving up. Which I just think works better for Sakura overall as a character. We can see her evolution from being very useless to being very useful in defeating an Akatsuki member that's very powerful. We cut back to Naruto and Kakashi. The two shadow clones Naruto created form a Rasengan. Both clones then jump above the real Naruto, one holding the Rasengan, the other one weaving hand signs. The real Naruto weaves hand signs as well, saying, "Wind Style, Gale Palm!" The Wind Style Jutsu shoots rapid air from Naruto's palms, propelling both clones with extreme speed towards the flying Deidara. As Deidara sees that, he immediately tosses 6 small clay birds towards the flying clones. The clone who was weaving hand signs and flying towards Deidara tosses a shuriken at the birds, using another shuriken shadow clone jutsu to intercept the incoming birds that explode mid-air before they can hit the clones, and the explosion creates a smoke screen. The Naruto clone carrying the Rasengan crosses the smoke, aiming the Rasengan straight at the belly of Deidara's massive bird. At the last moment, Deidara veers left, executing an evasive maneuver, and the clone flies off target. As Naruto's clone passes by right next to Deidara's bird, it swipes its wing, dispelling the clone. Deidara thinks, I have to be careful, I'm running out of clay again. Kakashi thinks, Naruto, so you're a wind cell type, huh? Interesting. Naruto says, I guess only 2 clones weren't enough. How much longer, Kakashi-sensei? Almost there. Naruto creates more shadow clones, now producing 20 of them. The clones use wind-style gale palm systematically to launch themselves into the air towards Deidara, the original Naruto being the only one remaining on ground level. Deidara launches more explosive birds trying to deter their advancement, but now several clones use the Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu to block and explode them mid-air once more. Deidara thinks, with only 1 arm and low chakra I can't create faster explosives. That Shuriken Jutsu isn't even that good. Deidara says, you know what, Jinchuriki? You're kinda pissing me off! Naruto's 20 airborne clones pass through the smoke created by the birds that exploded, surrounding Deidara's massive bird from all sides. They all weave hand signs at the same time saying, wind style, wind bullets! A barrage of fast wind bullets pelts Deidara's bird as they are shot from all sides, coming out of the clones' mouths. Even though Deidara is hit by quite some of them, making him bleed, he counterattacks, launching explosive birds towards the clones. The birds hit the airborne clones, exploding and destroying them all around Deidara's massive bird. Deidara then says, well, how about a larger payload? Deidara uses the rest of his clay and creates a very large bird, tossing it towards Naruto and Kakashi on the ground. Naruto thinks, the shurikens can't stop something this big. He then weaves hand signs and says, wind style, wind dragon! The air in front of Naruto takes the shape of a large Japanese dragon that dashes towards the massive explosive bird. The dragon impacts the bird with immense force, biting it and detonating the bird. Naruto and Kakashi feel the explosion and the shockwave but are not harmed by it, and they cross through the smoke left behind. Kakashi says, well done, Naruto, now it's my turn. Kakashi then reveals his Mangekyo and uses Kamui on Deidara. The scene then progresses the same way as it did in the original. The Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu was not the only jutsu Naruto learned over the time skip. He also learned a good amount of wind-style jutsus during that time. This makes Naruto's arsenal more diverse and his fights just more fun and interesting, simply because he has more options than just shadow clones and Rasengans. It shows that Naruto progressed further during the time skip than in the original, and this exchange with Deidara also shows off Naruto's strength. Even though Deidara was extremely nerfed during this fight, it was still a good bout. We cut to Team Guy after they just defeat their doppelgangers. It is revealed that they were all under the influence of a genjutsu that was cast on them when they removed the tag at the same time. None of them realized it was a genjutsu, not even Neji. The genjutsu was only dispelled after they defeated their doppelgangers, and this was Itachi's genjutsu. In hindsight, if you think about it, it makes no sense for the genjutsu to end, so Itachi definitely meant the genjutsu to be breakable. Making this doppelganger technique into a genjutsu instead of just a weird ninjutsu solves a huge problem. Why wouldn't they just use this jutsu again? It literally creates a copy of anyone as far as we can tell, and imagine casting this on Madara or Hashirama. You're just gonna have another Madara or Hashirama laying around. It just creates a lot of issues, so if it's a genjutsu, it just makes more sense, and it's cool because it's Itachi's, and we can also put some of Itachi's hidden intentions in it as well. Naruto and Kakashi's fight against Deidara happens largely the same way. However, there will be a difference when Naruto's Kyuubi chakra comes out and he forms the Two Tails mantle. We see now when that happens that the Oni mask figure has been watching their fight against Deidara from afar all along. As soon as the figure notices the Kyuubi chakra oozing out of Naruto and losing control, it dashes towards Naruto weaving hand signs. However, Kakashi is closer and gets to Naruto before the figure in the mask. The Oni mask figure then stops as it sees Kakashi arriving before him and retreats. But Kakashi doesn't notice the figure. Another change I'll make here is that Kakashi won't suppress the Nine Tails chakra with a paper Jiraiya gave it to them, but with a sealing jutsu that he himself produces by weaving hand signs and touching Naruto's forehead. You can see sealing glyphs just wrapping around Naruto and suppressing the QB chakra. It's a very difficult process that takes a lot of Kakashi's energy, especially after he used the Mangekyo, who really drains him out. After the chakra is suppressed, Kakashi thinks, if more chakra had come out, I wouldn't have been able to stop it. This shows another of Kakashi's 1000 copy jutsus, and I think it's a much cooler way of having Naruto's chakra suppressed than having Deus Ex paper given by Jiraiya at the last moment when we get the flashback showing what happened. So I just think this way is better. The rest of the arc remains the same. Chiyo resurrects Gaara, bringing him back to life, and then dies. We're then introduced to Toby, Team Guy and Team Kakashi return to the Leaf Village. However, the very last scene of the arc will be completely changed. We cut to Danzo in the underbellies of the Leaf Village. He's talking to someone. So, I hear the QB chakra flared during that last mission. I take it he took care of it? We now see who he was talking to. It's not Sai, like in the original. It's the only masked figure who was watching over Team Kakashi during their entire mission. The figure is kneeling in front of Danzo. The only masked figure then says, "It wasn't me. The copy ninja got there faster than I could." "Were you spotted?" "I wasn't found out. Even though one of them had a Byakugan, I am positive no one saw me." "I see. I made the right choice picking you after all. Your skill set is perfect for the mission I gave you. And your mind seems to be in the right place as well. Tell me more about the Akatsuki." "One of them was Sasori of the Red Sand. He was killed by Lady Chiyo of the Sand Village and Sakura Haruno. Although I didn't see that fight in detail. The other one is called Deidara from the Stone Village. He used explosive long-ranged techniques. The Leaf team thinks he destroyed himself during his last attack, but I saw him escaping." "What about the boy?" "Naruto Uzumaki has remarkable potential, but I can see that the ceiling containing the Nine Tails is unraveling. It will soon become a grave issue just like you predicted, Lord Danzo." "Yes, once it ruptures completely, the Nine Tails will take over and kill the boy, and then destroy the entire village." "I will stop it, my lord." "Do not act in haste, Agent Atani. For now, keep on watching Naruto Uzumaki and report back to me." "As you wish, my lord." Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the beginning of Naruto Shippuden in the rewrite. Watch part 9 right here if it's already out. Comment below what you thought about the changes I made, and thanks for watching.